Hello YouTube, this is Spencer with GoldArrow.com. We do have an automotive segment on this YouTube channel and website, and it has videos on Chevy Corvettes, or sorry, not videos, but content on Chevy Corvettes, the Chevy Sonic behind me, even Ford pickup trucks, things like that, mechanical in nature. Mostly the channel is about doing home built aircraft and hands-on stuff in the garage, but definitely the cars branch off into that. So I did a video a few months back on when the PCV valve failed on the engine cover, and I showed how to replace that. So it's gotten quite a few views, and it's helped a lot of people from some of the feedback I've received. So this is more of a basic video. This is on how to do an oil change on the Chevy Sonic, and it's pretty easy to do. So there's two schools of thought on this kind of stuff. Some people want to absolutely air everything out to the point of being ridiculous. The oil changes on this car, from what I've seen, are around $40 or something like that if you go into your average places. If you go into a discount place, you got to start wondering what you're getting. That's kind of the big thing, is if you are gonna hire the oil change done, just make sure it's from a reputable, like GM dealer direct would be my preference. Or if you go to some sort of oil change like a Quickie Lube or something like that, make sure they get good reviews and they actually take the old oil out, put the oil in, new oil in, and put a new filter in. There's been quite a few news reports about some of these companies that aren't too reputable, so watch it with that. If you do it yourself and you got some pointers on what to do, then you definitely know you're getting it done for the most part here. So it's an Ecotech 1.4 liter turbocharged engine. It needs to run on Dexos oil. That's what they recommend directly from the GM manual. I also have a 2000 Corvette with the LS1, which has been running Mobil 1. So Mobil 1 is pretty much Dexos. And I decided to basically run both cars on the same stuff from Walmart. It's about 25 bucks a quart for that. Important note, this car only uses 4 quarts of the oil, so you don't want to load the whole jug in there. That wouldn't be good. But of course the LS1 uses 6 quarts of oil, so the two balances each other out. You can get 2 quart or two jugs, 5 quart jugs, and 6 in one, 4 in the other, and you're good. One of the challenges with this car is the oil filter. It's a very nice oil filter design. I like it a lot, especially with the aviation background. It's a filter element, and then the cap stays with the car. You'll see that in the video. You get to see the filter, any kind of particles in it. So in aviation engines like a Lycoming or Continental, you cut the filter open, the metal housing, look at the filter that way. So this is kind of done for you on a car. So that's a really cool feature I like a lot. The bad thing about it is the distribution of the filters, where to get them, how much you have to pay for them. So a Chevy Corvette LS1, 350 horsepower plus, the little AC Delco filter for that is under $4 at Walmart. Go in and buy it. Finding the filter for this guy is kind of hit and miss. So here he is right there. It's a PF 2257G AC Delco, made in the USA part. Best place to get these honestly is Amazon. I got a link in the description below where you can get them for like $7 to $8. If you do find this in the store, you're usually paying like $11 or $12 so for a filter. So it's like 2 to 3x more money for a car that has like almost a third the horsepower. So that's pretty crazy. But enough on that. So reasons why you'd want to, beyond the whole getting the oil changed yourself. So economically, where it makes sense to, truly makes sense to get this oil change hired done and truly save money, is if you got a good oil change place, whether it's a GM dealer or oil change place you like, and you work right next to it. And you can drop the car off there in the morning on the way to work, go to work, they do the oil change, and you pick it up. That way your time invested in this thing is at a minimum. If you're gonna go do a specialty trip, like I'm down here in South Florida, so for me to go to a good GM dealer, it's about a good 30 plus minutes away, and then I've waited in line. When I got the car, I got a couple of complimentary oil changes. They did a really good job. I got some complimentary oil changes, but 30 minutes up, I'd wait at least an hour, maybe 2 hours before they'd do anything. I'd just be waiting there, and then I'd drive back. So my time investment would be 2 to 3 hours. That's pretty significant, for trying to save some money on the oil change. So You can work this into your schedule, or this with your normal Amazon orders. Pick up the oil, Mobil ones, Dexos 5W30 oil. If you get that from your normal like run to Walmart or something like that, and it's all part of your day, take it all home, and then when you're all ready to go, you can pop out an oil change in about 20 minutes or something like that, versus 2-3 hours if you're going to dedicate it and make a trip to the dealer, something like that. So again, just the economics of it. If it's a part of your day and you can do other things in the day, a friend's picking you up, sure, it'd save you money. But if you really count it out, whatever you're in per hour, times, you know, burning 2-3 hours just to process a whole oil change at one of these places. Could be a little bit less in your situation, but it's just something to consider. So things you're going to need, of course, the filter. You're going to need at least 1 quart of 5W30 Dexos oil. My preference is Mobil one, but the Dexos spec is on all kinds of different oils now. You're going to need some other wrenches too. You're going to need a 10 millimeter to take the oil plug off under the car, and you're going to need a 1 inch or like a 25 millimeter socket to get the oil filter out from the top. So those are the 2 tools you need. Of course, the socket set and a socket extender, and then some ramps or something to get it up. So you want to make sure the car is reasonably level when it's up, or make sure that the oil can drain out of there and not be, you know, trying to go uphill as it's draining out. But beyond that, that's the whole setup. So we're going to go and show you the different steps of the process to change the oil. Hopefully this will help you out, and just general thoughts on the car. It's been a great daily driver car for me. Excellent fuel economy, you can park it anywhere. It's one of the few compact cars actually made in the United States, even though it was kind of a world, they call a world car, where they had the engine design and all that came from Germany. I think the body design came from South Korea. So, but I've had the car since 2014, and I've been doing oil changes on it for the most of its life that I've had it, and I just rely on the GM oil computer to tell me when it's like down to 15 to 10 and 8% oil, something like that, and then I'll go do the oil change. So we'll get on into it. Button. It's actually right there. This only works when you're parked, so this is like 9%. You definitely want to change your oil. 15 to 10%, somewhere around there. So that's how you get to it. There's a menu button right there. So that's how you get to that. All right, here's the setup. Basically, you get it up on ramps. You can get these ramps from, you know, Auto Store or Walmart, something like that. And it gives you enough room to get up under there to start working on the oil change. So I got the oil catch tanks in my little metal pan. I also have this little Stanley tool tote. It helps to keep all your stuff you're going to need for under it. Of course, you need your paper towels and lots of plastic bags and gloves too. Okay, we're under the car now. That's the plug right there. That's a 10 millimeter socket on a standard wrench, and of course you don't want to over tighten it. Anyway, get right there. So you get it loose, and the rest you can just hand undo it. There you go. And as it's draining, you want to make sure that the oil's a nice consistent color. You don't see any glitter. Most of these plugs have a magnet on them, so you'll see like any kind of metal filings there. And this is using the GM oil computer, telling me to change it right around 9% of oil life left. So that's how you do all that part of it. Now the Sonic, the oil filter, is actually, you get to it from above on this car, so there's no filter underneath the car. So that's that part of it. Okay, that's pretty much it. That's one benefit when you're doing it yourself. You get a little more time, make sure that all the old oil's out. The plug has been pretty much cleaned off, but there's still some oil on the threads. You don't want to put this stuff all together dry. So now I basically get that guy right there. Get hand tight. Get yourself a new paper towel. Get off any excess residue. And they could look it up in the manuals. Actually, it's right there. It's 14 Newton meters is what's stamped on the thing. You can do that with torque wrench if you want. I have a dual beam, but it'd be difficult to see right here, so you'd want like a digital or a pop style torque wrench if you really want to do that. Basically, you don't want to use a cheater bar, and you don't want to act like you're trying to climb up a mountain on it. Just a good seat like that. Make sure you can't back the thing off, and usually that's fine. But if you want to be all technical, they do have the torque stamped right in the bottom of the oil can right there. And again, that's 10 millimeter. Make sure you get to the oil filter. It's right near the oil fill. Filter's down there. It's a 1-inch socket to get to it. There's a little hose. It's part of the intake system right there. You got to get out of the way. Just push a little bit. And you start turning on it. Of course, this is one of those new style filters that you only get the cartridge. The cap stays with the car. It's permanent basically. And they have an O-ring that also gets replaced. So, just gotta turn it a little bit. It's really that hose that makes it a little tricky, but beyond that, there's the oil filter right there. So pros and cons of this style of setup, you get to see the filter element. So if there's anything on the inside or even the outside, you can even see the inside. Heavy metal particles, you'll see them. So that's good. The problem is these suckers are like 12 bucks a piece if you just walk in the store, like an auto parts store. You can get this filter on Amazon for about a few dollars less, like $7 or $8 usually. There's a link in the video description below that will show you how to get that, along with some of the other stuff like the ramps. You're definitely gonna need ramps or a lift of some kind to get under the car because it's that low, but that shows you how that whole setup works. And you just pull that out of there and then you put in a new O-ring. Here we are putting the filter back on just to show you some stuff. This is a C5 Corvette oil filter. It's one of my other cars. So like a PF46E, you get those from Walmart for like under $4. Again, this sucker right here, it's well over 10, more like 11, 12 bucks at the store. So you can get on Amazon. It's a PF2257G, genuine AC Delco part. So we got all that stuff, and there is an O-ring. Put that filter back in. So there's the O-ring. It's usually good to change those over each time. I'm just gonna try to. Normally want to be wearing gloves in both hands, but I'm doing a video here. So, the tool that really helps with this is like a dental pick. I got this from Harbor Freight, but you can also get those from Amazon. There's a little groove right there. You put that in there, and then you just start lifting up, and it pops right off. And you put the new one on. It's a round O-ring, so it just rolls right over stuff. You get it back in that groove, make sure it's not like twisted around or anything. That's all good. This has one end that goes in, which is this felt-like looking end. This little clip goes into the hexagon right there, that cap. You hear it lock, and then it just goes in the way it came out. And of course you gotta get the, whatever you call it, everything lined up. So that's the tricky part. There's a little clip right there that usually wants to fight you. I got over the center of that. You want to try to hand start the thing. It is plastic, so it's easy to cross thread it, so you definitely want to get that going correctly. And then you just put your 1-inch socket. I'm sure a 25mm socket would fit about the same too. You start turning it, you can hear the O-ring in there. I don't really wipe up anything around there. It's getting pretty good lube as it's going around. Keep going. And you start to feel a little bit of resistance. And right there you stop. You don't want to crank on it too hard because this is all plastic right here. So that's how all that works. Alright, so this gets the oil fill part. There's the cap, comes right off. And you can see the cams and stuff in the engine. So a couple notes, this 1.4 liter turbo Ecotech takes 4 quarts of oil, and you want to use Dexos. I use Mobil 1 synthetic 5W30 because it's the same oil as my other Chevy. Has been using Mobil, it's a 2000 model LS1. So it kind of helps just to keep all the same oil around. Might be a few dollars more, but it's to keep from tracking everything down. Makes life a little bit easier. Anyway, 4 quarts of oil. So usually the best thing to do, normally do this over a table, just show. Pour 1 quart out. Then you don't have to worry about overfilling into the tank. You'll see the bars 1, 2, 3, 4 for quarts. Outside. Keep going. All right, 4 quarts, if you can see that right there. Incidentally, the LS1 takes 6 quarts, this takes 4, so you could. That's it for that. Cap locks back on, and that's all good to go. Only thing left is inside the car after this. Menu button right there, and this is the reset. So at 9%, we hold down on it. Now it's back to 100, and that's all it is to reset the oil computer once you're all done and the oil's back in. So that's the whole oil change right there. Don't forget the filter. You can find it in the description below, along with some of the other parts like the ramps, sockets. Oil, best bet is to get that from a store directly. Shipping oil to you can be a little dicey unless you've done it before and have had good experience with it. But that's it. Pretty easy to do. Of course, once you're done with the oil, always look up. What's one of the other challenges? You need to find a good place to drop off the oil. Down here in Florida, SWA has oil drop-off points that are official. You just go take the oil, dump it into a tank, put the bottles there, and you're done. You're all good with the environment, everything like that. Make sure you're good with the, of course, homeowners association if they're against that kind of thing, or in states where they're highly regulated for any kind of do-it-yourself automotive stuff. So look what you're getting into. In Florida, though, it's pretty easy. So good luck with your car auto work.